Hi, my name is Bruce. I'm here to go through a quick instruction video for replacing our 4 independent charger assembly with a new 48 volt charging system. What you'll have here, this is what they call a Q-DC-CHG1 charger. This is a replacement kit for these 4 individual chargers. What you'll see here is a transformer on a plate that connects to the same holes in the cabinet, as well as a PC board with a number of connectors. There's 2 individual connectors that come with it that we use to then be able to terminate the other connectors. And the only tool that's needed for this assembly is a 7/16 inch wrench. Okay, so pre-checks that you need to do before you start this procedure with the cabinet. First off, you should review the instruction manual that we put together. So review that and all the instructions there. But let me give it to you in the video here. This cable is just represent the AC cord that comes into the cabinet. That could be 240, could be 120 volts. You want to go to the disconnect panel and remove the power there. You want to ensure that the power is off from the DIN rail down here, 120 volts, typically coming into the cabinet. You want to make sure that the AC voltage is off there. The second thing you want to do is in the battery cabinet, you want to ensure that the battery switch is to the off position, okay? Once that's done, the first thing you'll be doing is we're going to be disconnecting the charger assembly. The charger assembly has 4 connectors in here. This connector system, very simple. You push down on the 1 tab and disconnect all of these cables. You typically shouldn't be wearing any rings when you're working in a cabinet like this, so that you don't get any unintended shocks. All the connectors are off now. Now the charger assembly is disconnected. We're now going to use a 7/16 inch wrench, and there are 4 7/16 nuts up here with lock washers. I'm going to use that to loosen all of them. Okay, we'll go through, we'll loosen all 4 of them, put the wrench down. Now what you're going to be able to do is hold the assembly up and then unscrew all 4 of those. Okay, now that we have all the 7/16 nuts off, I'm going to take off the last one, which is holding it up. So on one hand, you want to hold this up. Certainly if you had 2 people here to help, that would be great. 1 person holding it in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew that last one. We're going to reuse all those nuts and lock washers. Now what I'm going to do is lower this down just slightly to pass through the cabinet. And then what I want to do is just pull the whole assembly out. And now we have a charger assembly, okay? One note here is if one of these chargers was bad, you can certainly toss it. If the other 3 units are still good, you could actually use those for upgrades in the future if you want to do replacements. Okay, now that I'm going to take this, I'm going to set this aside. And then what I'm going to do is take the new charger assembly with the transformer on the left, the LEDs on the right here. Make sure these cable assemblies are out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is put that in the cabinet, lining up the holes to the existing holes in the cabinet. And slide it up. I'm going to hold this while I then take the 7/16 nuts with the lock washers, and I'm going to attach all of these to the cabinet.
Okay.
Okay. Next thing we're going to do, now that this assembly is in and mounted and tightened with our 7/16 wrench, make sure all those are nice and hand tight. The next thing we need to do now is take the 2 connectors that are coming off of the new DC charger, and we need to connect those and make sure of all the connecting systems that were left over from the old chargers. Now, you might ask, well, there's 4 connectors here, but only 2 here. So what are we going to do? Well, the first thing we're going to do is these 2 middle connectors, we're going to take, and these are the ones that are the red and blue, that has red and blue on them. We're going to take this, and all we're going to do is put this little connector, which is to stop anybody from putting anything inside of here, and it just allows that to be sealed. We're going to take the other one, And again, if you're confused on which ones to use here, look at the instruction manual, and all we're going to do is we're going to plug this in just to make sure nobody accesses those connectors. The ones that are important here are going to be the connector that has the 2 blacks and the white. That's going to connect over to the red, black, and white connector here. We're going to plug that in. And then the one with the brown wire, we're going to put with the one that has the yellow, orange, 2 whites, and 2 blacks. And we're going to connect that in. And that is the connectors for the charger. The next step will be to engage the batteries, be able to turn the batteries on, and also redo your AC into the cabinet, ensure that everything is now working within the cabinet. And that concludes the charger retrofit. Thanks.